So it is mid-July and this is exactly what is going on in my garden. If you are new here, my name is Maya and we're a family of 4 trying to grow as much food in our backyard. So let's get into the tour. So let's jump into my broccoli bed. Now it is definitely wild. Some of it's starting to seed, but this is now side shoot territory. So we have been harvesting these side shoots, which are just as delicious as the heads. And in here, planted along was also some salad greens. So we've got some lettuce in here going to seed, but alongside of it, we do have some celery, which is doing so good. I really love this cut and gummigan celery. It is great for all the uses that we use with it. And it's nice not having to run to the store, but to run to the garden instead. And on the end cap here, we have some sweet alyssum. That is awesome. Now our next bed is right beside it. It's got eggplant, peppers, and basil in it. Got anaheims, banana peppers, just a whole lot. Now also in here we have got some celery as well. Like I said, I planted so much celery, but I am using it way more than I thought that I would. So for soups, for sandwiches, they are just a great little crunch. And also I have got a rogue tomato seed or plant in here. Tomatoes, when you go to seed, it's just wild because if they drop, they're right there. Some more beautiful Tulsi basil going to flower. Right next to it, we have some Nagasaki eggplant, and it is flowering and looking like it is producing fruit. And right next to him, it is 2 Anaheim peppers, which this is the 3rd year growing them, and they're always just slow to produce, but once they produce, they really get going. And down here at the soil level, we have some Tulsi basil and some onions that are starting to bulb, and I am just so excited when we get to harvest those. And right next to it is some oregano. Here is our second eggplant in this box, and it is also producing flowers and fruit. That one looks like a Frankenstein fruit. I'm not sure if I'll eat it, but we will see when that comes to pass. Down below we have some peppers. This one is leaning. It has been leaning since I planted it, but we do have some bell peppers on it, which is still really cool. And next to it we have some banana peppers, which I only have one this year, but it is producing so well. My 2nd year having banana peppers, and they're always no problem for me. Next to it, we have a Buena Chica pepper, which is really pretty. These flowers are purple, but also I believe that these peppers are purple as well. And mixed between them, we have some Tulsi basil and some normal Genovese Italian basil going to flower right next to it. Now let's head on to our next box. This one is majority peppers and tomatoes, but we do have some onions, and this is a beautiful sage plant that is growing in the corner right next to this sweet alyssum that looks like it is just fried to death. And I'm a big fan of sprinkling little lettuce seeds at the end because you just never know what you are going to get. Next to it, we have this bell pepper plant, which honestly, these bell peppers are not doing very well. It might be because they're shaded out, but there are flowers still producing, and we are next to a whole lot of basil, which could also be shading them out. So I'm hoping to get that out this week. In this corner, we have a straw flower right next to some sweet alyssum, and if you cannot tell, I'm very much a big fan of sweet alyssum because it's easy to grow, but it is just so pretty. Now, on the edge of this trellis is all tomatoes that need to be staked up desperately, but if we peek in here, we see some beautiful mushroom basket tomatoes, which looks like little pumpkins to me. They are so beautiful. And let's take a peek on this next side. Unfortunately, I have not stayed on top of putting this up, But that is another task for another day, so I'm just going to lightly place it back to where it already was. Now if we take a peek to the other side of this trellis, these mushroom baskets are not doing very well because the soil is different. But on the next side of it is the San Marzanos, which were late to start but are still setting fruit. So that is a conundrum for me. Now to the other side, which is flourishing, we've got tons and tons of San Marzanos and some that are now starting to turn red. At this end cap, we have some Napa Chardonnay cherry tomatoes. The only cherry tomatoes I grew this year because when they grow in abundance. Now these ones will turn orange and I am very excited to see what these taste like because this is the first time grow in our garden. Now, this hunk of a mess is an organized mess, okay? Now, we've got some Brunswick cabbage in here, some corn in here, but we also have a bolted lettuce in here. So if your garden is not perfect, then just take a look at mine. Now at this end cap, we have some China Jade cucumbers, which are in various stages of growing, but are so pretty to watch grow because each of them is just, it is a unique journey with this one. Now on the other side, we have, this is the back side of our corn. Now, I am probably getting ready to harvest this corn. It looks about ready. The silks are dried out. I've picked some, so hopefully I can pick the rest of them this week. But besides that, we've got some dill in here and some random squash and also these carrots that we've let gone to seed. Now, carrot flowers are some of the prettiest flowers, and I have also got some in here to save seed for next year. And right next to it, we have got some Bulgarian giant leeks that I have not yet harvested, but I am tempted to pull one this week and cook with it because I've never cooked with leeks before. So if you've got a good recipe, let me down below. And let's jump over to this middle bed, which is still in the process of being weeded. But we have a yellow squash, and I have yet to see any female blooms. I've only got male flowers, so we'll see how that goes. But we've got a lot of beautiful flowers. We've got marigolds. We have these beautiful different kind of zinnias, which are a first grow in my garden, but will definitely be a forever grow in the garden. Just how easy and how beautiful they are. I would highly recommend that you pinch your zinnias because I am seeing so much more. And currently next to it we have our cosmos and a lone sunflower. Now let's move on to our next and our last part of our garden, which is 3 8x4 beds. Now in the first bed we've got these collard greens, and I want you to look at the leaves. Now these leaves look beautiful up top, but as we go down lower we see that they got eaten severely by cabbage moths. So they will grow great for the rest of the season, but I would have definitely put netting. And moving on to the other side of that same bed, we've got eggplant, peppers, and my only okra to survive. It was a tragic story, but I'm glad I at least have one. And we've got our beautiful calendula, which I just will grow every year. It's medicinal and it's just so pretty for the pollinators. And right next to it, oh, I did not even see that I had an eggplant. I harvested earlier and I love finding little goodies and surprises. This will definitely get eaten tomorrow. Moving on to our next bed, this is green beans and my tobacco plants. Now, was late to start my green beans, so I have not had flowers yet, so I am just going to peek below here and see if I have any flowers on these green beans, because I am getting anxious seeing everybody in Nebraska have green beans except me. And I was lucky enough to find some flowers, so that means that there are dragon time green beans in our near future. This is our tobacco. If you want to see how we started this, we have a video on the channel, but I just topped or took out the seeds of 4 of these plants, and I am letting 1 go to seed. So these are really pretty, really soft, and I'm really excited to see what Walter does with that tobacco. And our last bed, which is looking so rough, is our root vegetable bed. We've got carrots and beets and lettuce going to seed. But on the end cap, we do have some broccoli. Now, this broccoli was started later just because I wanted to see what it would be like in the later season. And very right next to it is some komatsu, and that is a mustard green. I have not tasted this yet. I always forget about it because it's in the back of the garden. Here's what the garden looks like right now. Honestly, next week is about to be popping. So, as always, you are awesome, you are wonderful, you are dope, and I'll see you next time. Bye!